A very good morning, class. I hope everybody is fine at their home and safe. We are finished with the soil chapter, and today we are going to start a very new chapter, that is nutrition in animals and humans. The first chapter we discussed in a class science book was nutrition in plant. Today we are going to discuss basically nutrition in animals and human being. You all are aware what does nutrition means. The process of intake of food and the process by which we obtain food. This process is known as nutrition. As we know that plants prepare their food by the process known as photosynthesis. But animals cannot make their food. They are dependent upon their food on plants. Some animals eat plants directly while some eat plants eating animals. Thus, animals get their food from the plants either directly or indirectly. So, we can say that animals are dependent upon plants for their food. So, all organisms require food for survival and growth. This requirement of nutrients, we know food consists of various type of nutrients like carbohydrate, fats, proteins, minerals. And the mode of intake, जिस process से हम ये food लेते हैं and its utilization by a body is known as nutrition. Now we will discuss the steps of nutrition which animals follow in their process. What all steps are taken by the animals in the process of nutrition? Majority of the animals take the food in the solid form only. We human beings also take the food in the solid form. And we have discussed in the chapter first, the process of the intake of the food in the solid form is known as holozoic nutrition. जब food solid form में consume करा जाता है by the animals, it is known as holozoic nutrition. We can define it, the form of nutrition in which the food is eaten in solid form is called holozoic nutrition. As food consists of complex substances, we already know that is carbohydrate, proteins, fats, minerals. These need to be broken down into simpler forms. The food eaten by animals undergoes basically 5 steps. ये जो complex food breakdown होता है into simpler form, ये basically 5 steps के through जाता है, which we will discuss one by one. The first step is the ingestion, second is digestion, third is absorption, fourth is assimilation, and last one is egestion. So these 5 steps are followed. The first step is ingestion. The process by food is taken inside the body of an organism is called ingestion. जैसे हम खाना माउथ में रखते हैं, वो जो फर्स्ट स्टेप होता है उस स्टेप को हम इंजेक्शन बोलते हैं. The process of intake of food inside the body of an organism is called as ingestion. पर ये mode of ingestion हर animal का different होता है. Different organism use different methods to get the food. There are special structures of each organism for taking food inside the body that we will discuss. The first one is amoeba. Amoeba has a false feet. We know that is known as pseudopodium. Is used to engulf the food particle. वो क्या करते हैं, ये जो उसके false feet होते हैं वो food को surround करके intake करते हैं. We know that spider weaves a web to catch the prey, so its mode of ingestion is a web. A butterfly uses its feeding tube to suck the nectar of the flower. The mosquito feed on the blood of the animals and obtain it through its feeding tube. तो mosquito में भी feeding tubes होते हैं जिसके through वो food intake करता है. A frog uses its tongue. We must have seen that. A starfish gets its food by an amazing method. It feeds on small animals like snail, fish, and worms. The tube feet present in the body of a starfish capture the food. जो उसके tube होते हैं feet में present, वो food को capture करती हैं. Snake like pythons swallow the animals they prey upon. Directly वो swallow कर लेते हैं. And we human use our hands to put the food in our mouths. So these were the different methods to get the food in different types of animals. This was the first step that was known as ingestion. The next step is digestion. We know that the food is taken in the solid form, and this solid form cannot be digested by our body. जो ये process होता है of converting or breaking down the complex food into simple and soluble form जो हमारी body को absorb कर सके is called as digestion. So digestion is defined as the process of converting or breakdown of complex food into simple and soluble form is called as digestion. Most animals use both the physical and the chemical methods for converting the complex food into simpler soluble form. Like we human beings also use the physical and chemical method both. So digestion is basically breaking down of the food into simpler components which can be absorbed by our body. So this was the second step, digestion. We come to the third step, that is absorption. It is the process by which the digested nutrients are taken to different parts of the body by the circulatory system through blood. अब जो food digest हुआ वो body के different parts में भी जाना चाहिए with the help of which system, circulatory system. और ये जो process होता है जिससे digested nutrients are taken to the different parts of the body is known as absorption. The cells in the body then absorb these digested food molecules. जो भी important है इसमें nutrients होते हैं वो absorb हो जाते हैं. So this was the third step. Now we come to the fourth step, that is known as assimilation. It is the process of using the absorbed food molecules for producing energy and growth. We know that we require energy to perform any work. After the food has been absorbed, it provides us with energy so that our body can grow and develop. So that step is known as assimilation, which provides us with energy. Now we come to the last step, that is known as digestion. Digestion. अब बॉडी में कुछ वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट भी होगा, जो हमने खाना खाया है वो सारा तो यूजफुल नहीं होगा, उसमें कुछ वेस्ट मटेरियल भी प्रेजेंट होगा, तो दैट हैज़ टू बी रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम आवर बॉडी. और जो ये प्रोसेस होता है ऑफ रिमूविंग द अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड मटेरियल्स फ्रॉम द बॉडी इज कॉल्ड एज digestion. So the process of removing undigested food material from the body is known as digestion. So these were the 5 steps of nutrition in animal. The first one was ingestion, second was digestion, third was absorption, fourth was assimilation, and the last one was digestion. Our next topic is nutrition in amoeba. We know that amoeba is a unicellular organism, that is whose body is made up of only one type of cell. अगर एक ऑर्गेनिज्म की बॉडी ओनली वन टाइप ऑफ सेल बनी हुई है, सो हाउ डज इट ऑब्टेन न्यूट्रिशन एंड व्हाट आर द प्रोसेस इट फॉलोज, दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस इन दिस टॉपिक, दैट इज न्यूट्रिशन इन amoeba. Amoeba is capable of constantly changing its shape. As we know, it has irregular shape which can be changed and its position. And we know that it has its false feet or pseudopodia. This helps in the movement and capturing of the food. Amoeba does not have a mouth or a digestive system as it is made up of single cell. Its food consists of microscopic organism, very tiny and microscopic organism. On sensing the food around it, amoeba gets out its pseudopodia. क्या करता है, जैसे ही उसे लगता है कि आसपास उसके खाना है तो वो अपने false feed निकाल लेता है, which surrounds the food particle and ultimately take the food particle inside its body. The food particles inside the amoeba forms a food vacuole. Food vacuoles are present in the body of the amoeba. The digestion of the food particle is a chemical process in amoeba performed by a digestive juices called enzyme. Amoeba has digestive juices which helps in the digestion of its. These digested juices are secreted into the food vacuole, which helps in breaking down of the complex particle into the simpler substances, which can be easily absorbed in the body of the amoeba. Then the digested food is absorbed. After absorption, assimilation occurs. Assimilation which provides energy for the growth in size of the amoeba, and we know the last step in the process of digestion is egestion. The undigested food is thrown outside the body at any point with the help of a temporary vacuole. So food vacuole help in the digestion and temporary vacuole helps in the egestion of the food particles in the nutritional amoeba.